Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just gonna do a recent finds video. Haven't done a video in a little while now, so just kind of random stuff I've picked up over the past, I guess, couple or few weeks here. And as always, like a lot of random stuff. Some trade again, some things I picked up after some sales on eBay and uh, went to a record show this past weekend. Didn't pick up a ton there, but just a few nice core pieces and so forth. So this is just kind of a lot of those random finds. When I kind of put it all together to do the video, I realized it's actually quite a stack. So I'm going to break this up into two different videos. So the first one here is mainly going to be focused around stuff more on the rock side, and I figured in the second one I'll do more of the R&B stuff I picked up, a couple of soundtracks, and I'll also kind of show some of the neat CDs that are just some good CDs that I picked up as well. I know somebody asked me a question about that recently, if I'd been still purchasing CDs or something of that nature. So I'll just kind of show some of the ones that I was happy to kind of stumble across. So let's just kind of jump right into it, and this will be part one. So we'll start off here, and actually there's one particular album I do want to start off with. So I'm going to actually dig through this stack and pull this out. Is this one right here, which is, try to find a way to get some of the glare out. There we go. This is The War on Drugs. Their new album came out a couple of weeks ago, I think. Hasn't been that long. A Deeper Understanding. And I wanted to kind of show this one first because I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk about this one more so than maybe the other albums I'm going to show here. But one of the main reasons why is anyone that knows me well musically, I mean, you guys know that I like everything and, from all different eras and genres and everything else. But one of the places that could be very tough for me to find a lot of things that I like, or maybe a better way to put it, a lot of things that I respect, that might be a better way to put it, is kind of really a lot of modern day music, especially like modern day R&B and modern day, I guess what you might kind of label as the hipster type of stuff. There's plenty of stuff in that genre that I do like. I mean, you look at my 90s or 2000s collection, and I have a number of different things in there. But just as far as with all the groups that are out there and things that come out, it's just very, very few and far between of those groups I actually like and respect. I just don't. But that I'm kind of saying that because this album right here is actually one that just made its way right to the top of that list. Not respecting, but actually respecting. I've never been a big fan of the War on Drugs. Heard some of their stuff here and there, and yeah, it's okay, blah blah blah. But a friend was playing some of this the other day, and I just heard a couple of tracks, and I'm just like, that sounds like some pretty good stuff. What is that? Like, the War on Drugs, blah blah blah. And the thing I'll say about this album is what kind of hit me when I was listening to it. I sat and listened to it from front to back, and it truly is again, in my world, a movement back to music. I remember some of the things that just impressed me so much when I was listening to it was not only the use of all the different instruments that were utilized throughout the album, but I remember there were a few different points where I was listening to the album and I had this thought that came into my mind of, that sounds like a song that Pink Floyd would do. That's a very Pink Floyd-ish type of song. Okay, that's kind of cool, and I'm listening and listening, and then it was, that's a very Don Henley-ish kind of song. That's a very Henley Eagles-ish type of song. And the album kept going. And I remember saying again, that's a very Bruce Springsteen-ish type of song. I just remember just the fact that I was hearing kind of the vibes and the elements of, artists like that inside of this. So when I got to the end, that really was my feeling, was like, wow, it's really nice to hear a group making music again. Like true music from my own opinion and perspective and everything else. So I was extremely, extremely impressed with this album. This album is it's a beautiful piece of music. That's really the best way I could put it. So I had to kind of ramble about that a lot because, again, a lot of albums that come out these days don't hit me the way that album did. But moving right along, going to some classic stuff here. Aerosmith, Night in the Ruts. I don't know about you guys, but I've been collecting for, gosh, over 10 years or so now. This is one of those albums I just never run across. So I was pretty happy to find this the other day. Perfect, great condition. And again, I wonder if your experiences might be different because it's just an album that I just, one of the Aerosmith albums I never seem to run across. I also picked up a copy of Pink Floyd, The Final Cut. This is one of the newer 180 gram reissues. You guys know all about that. I'm not getting into detail there. A couple of, like I said, kind of in different orders here, but just kind of some pieces I needed to fill back in after my purge. Nice $2 bin find with a Tommy two-tone. So it's nice to get a perfect mint condition copy of that back in place, as well as this one here too. I've been looking for this one for quite some time, and this again is one of those albums that pops up all over the place. But to find one that's actually in perfect condition, because they usually have just been bashed to hell in dollar bins and that type of thing. But Seals and Crofts greatest hits, Summer Breeze, all that great stuff. And this is probably one of my best dollar bin finds possibly ever, which is Duran Duran Decade. And I found this in a dollar bin, well, a $2 bin, I should say. And when it popped up, I remember seeing it, and I hadn't really looked at it in quite some time, but I just kind of recalled that's not like a very common album. If I remember correctly, that goes for a little bit of money here and there. So I picked it up and brought it home, just kind of did some looking up and all of that. And yeah, these things are going anywhere from $40, $45 to $60, $70 on eBay. So yeah, to find that for only $2 was a steal. As you can see, they're in great condition. And I do already have a copy of this too, though, so I'm probably actually going to end up selling this one. And again, that kind of how I go about funding the vinyl purchasing, is by finding deals like that. Steely Dan, you guys know that one, of course, as well as, sorry, I got something in my eye, jeez. And then Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill. Nice Japanese pressing of that. They had this nice 50% off sale of used vinyl at this one place, and so this was a great opportunity to pick up that beautiful piece. And let's see here. Next we will go with, let me grab this one here. Little budgie here. This is Impeccable. Actually, the first album I've owned by this band. I've heard a lot of the hard rock and metal VC fans that have talked about this band, and I've heard bits and pieces here or there, but just never really dove into the band. And so I found this at a really, really great price, and I remember just with the cat that was one of the ones that I had checked out and had kind of liked. So picked it up and sat down and listened to it the other day, and yeah, this is definitely excuse me, a band I have to dive way further into their catalog. And again, I know a lot of VC members have raved about them for quite some time, so I'm a little slow in catching up with them. And the next two here, my girl, you guys know how I feel about her, but more Enya. So, here we have them on team there, and then we also have the best of, kind of a greatest hits here. And yeah, I'm still very happy that they are issuing / reissuing all of these Enya albums. Because I love her to death. I don't care what anybody says. I think her stuff is beautiful. And it was kind of weird because I went to pick these up this weekend. I got another gift certificate from work for Barnes and Noble, so I went there and I got these two Enya albums, and I remember taking them up to the counter, and of course the guy does the whole I can't remember exactly how he put it, but he said something to the effect of like, no offense, but you're just not the kind of person I would think would buy Enya albums. And of course, my first thought, well, my thought is always like, well, why am I not that kind of person? Then I also kind of understand why he wouldn't assume that. But I don't know. It's just kind of something that I guess I noticed. I think it's funny myself. Like, I don't hold anything against someone that says that, because you don't typically walk around seeing, especially black guys, buying Enya albums and stuff like that. So sometimes I laugh it off, and sometimes it does get on my nerves a little bit. Because of that same day or the day before at the record show, when I walked over this guy's table or whatever, he goes, "This box right over here is all R&B and all rap." It's like, okay, and he's like, this table spread out. Like, well, what's the rest of the crap? But again, it's like a black guy walks up and he just assumes R&B and rap. It's like, dude, I'm Mr. Hall of Fame. Like, what? As if you would know me anyway. But yeah, like I said, it's one of those things where it does kind of get under my skin a little bit that people make those assumptions, but at the same time, it doesn't get under my skin to where I'm bothered by them. It's not like I have an issue with them, because that's what I would expect. I mean, again, I would not expect a 6'5" black guy to come walking up and say, "I'll take this in you." But I don't know. I guess it's just from hanging around you VC guys too long, you guys and gals. But anyway, so yeah, definitely happy to pull more Enya in there. Let's see, what will we pull up here next? Oh, this is a good one. Dave Crosby, If I Could Remember My Name. Fantastic album, probably my favorite album by him. And he's definitely one of those artists where I love what he's doing or I hate it. There's no in between with him. Like, if he's doing something that I absolutely like, it is just fantastic, and he's a genius. He's doing something I don't like, I can't believe I ever bought a single album by him ever. And this is one of the ones that I truly, truly like. This is just a great, I can't even say soft, but it's just kind of it's Crosby at his best. That's the best way I can put it. So, great stuff there. Another great pickup in that $2 bin. Again, I don't know what they were thinking at this store that day, but Depeche Mode. And I remember when I grabbed it, my first thought was, oh, it must be missing a disc, or there must be just like, something, the disc must be just thrashed or whatever. So I pulled it up, like, no, both discs are there, and clean as can be. I was like, what is a mint copy of this doing in the $2 bin? But I just shut my mouth and grabbed it. So, great addition to the Depeche Mode collection there, as well as little Depeche Mode Songs of Faith and Devotion. Another great pickup. So definitely getting closer to completing that Depeche Mode catalog. A couple other nice kind of replacement pieces that I needed. Got a really good copy of Greg Kihn's Rock and Roll Band. And of course this has the song, the breakup song, which of course is the one everyone tends to know off of this album. So that was good. And also picked up a very nice copy of America's Greatest Hits. And you all know this one. Horse with No Name, Ventura Highway, Sister Golden Hair, all that great stuff. And nice to get some Turtles back in my collection too. This is the Turtles' Greatest Hits with, just Happy Together and It Ain't Me, Babe, and just all that good Turtle stuff. So a very nice copy of that on Rhino Records, I believe. Yeah. And this was one that was a long-awaited record. I've been trying to get a good copy of this for so long. I've picked up 2 copies that I ended up selling because when I got them home and really played them through, they just weren't at the condition that they looked like they were in the store. So a guy at the local store that bought a collection the other day ended up getting a collection that had 2 original pressing sealed copies of Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. And he gave me a brand new sealed copy, so instead of the hype sticker and everything there. He gave me that brand new sealed copy for only $10, which was fantastic. So I've been wanting to get a copy of this back in my rack collection for so long. So that was actually one of the highlights of what I've gotten over the past month or so. And last but not least, my girl Cyndi Lauper, silver label MoFi pressing, which was really, really nice. And yeah, actually, you know, just a few videos ago, maybe a month or two ago, I had gotten a perfect, pristine copy of this. But when I stumbled across this one at the record show the other day, it was marked at only $24, and he took some more off of that too. And I thought, you know, hey, brand new sealed copy of that. That's one of the best albums the '80s ever saw. So, you know, definitely a good pickup and a good addition to the MoFi collection. So that was most of the rock stuff in terms of vinyl that I picked up. So we'll just go ahead and flip over to part 2, which will be, again, CDs, R&B, and soundtracks. And as always, let me know what you think. All right, we'll talk to you soon, guys.